Hey guys, welcome to my kitchen. Another big exciting day in my kitchen. Where we go and what are we making? Guys, we're doing 10 sauces, 10 weeks. Today we're starting with a basil tomato sauce. Oh man, this is good. Every sauce, I'm literally going to tell you every week that every sauce is phenomenal. I will share that with you. Every sauce is phenomenal. So today we're going to make a tomato basil sauce. This is a sauce that I make all the time. I make it with spaghetti. I also often use this sauce for pizza, and then sometimes we'll keep a container in the refrigerator, and then you're going to use it for something. You know, maybe you got some leftover meatballs, you got leftover scrambled eggs. I don't know. You can do frittata. You can get crazy with this. You know, sometimes, and I know some of you guys will know what I'm talking about. You'll just toast some bread, and you take a warm bowl of sauce, and you dip toasted Italian bread in there, or ciabatta, or something like that. I can find pretty much any way to eat a sauce. I've often eaten it like tomato sauce. I know I'm not the only one out there that's done that. So I'll take a bowl of sauce, maybe throw a chunk of Parmesan, a grated Parmesan in there, and then take a spoon. You know, maybe I'm sticking some breadsticks in there. Maybe I'm just eating it like a bowl of soup. I don't know. I eat it all different ways. So this is, all right, get back to the show. Got it. Get back to the recipe. So today we're going to make a sauce. Now, not to complicate it, I've got the pasta, because what's good is it making this without tasting it with some pasta, you know what I'm saying? So I've got a pound of some delicious organic spaghetti. Try to stick with the organic. It's a much healthier wheat for you and your intestines. Oh, also, we've got tomatoes. Now, what are you going to do, Joe? Hey, you're not an authentic Italian if you're not making it with fresh tomatoes. I'm going to show you how to do it, but I'm in the United States. And again, I say this out of love. Unless I'm at a farmer's market and I'm getting a heritage tomato, and maybe some of you guys know what I'm talking about, the tomatoes, they just don't have a lot of flavor to them. So you just don't get that richness, that delicious flavor that you need. If you're going to make homemade tomatoes, you're going to take 5 pounds. I'll show you how to do it. I'll take one of these and show you exactly how to do it. It's easy. It's fun. That's pretty much what we'll use in Italy. And, not to break anyone's heart out there, but, hanging out with a lot of the Nonas, they often make their fresh tomato sauce out of passata. So what they're going to do is they're going to go to the store and they're going to buy basically the pureed tomato. They're not all growing tomatoes, guys, and, making it homemade. Sometimes you'll see those videos, and that's great to do that, and I do that myself. But more often than not, they're going to take a couple of jars of good quality passata, and they're going to make some tomato sauce. So we need to start off with some tomatoes. The best way that I know, and I'm not working or any product placement for Cento, but the San Marzano tomato, the whole peeled, really gives me the best flavor of a homemade sauce. So I know some of you guys are like, oh my God, canned tomatoes. I get it. But when I compare this flavor to this, hands down, this is far better in the States, because I don't have a big garden here at my house, okay? In Italy, we'll do a different video. So I'm going to start off with, I'm going to make the one that we're going to eat here out of the canned San Marzano. If not, you want to go homemade, which I'll do in Italy for you. We're going to use 5 pounds of fresh tomatoes. Again, not to repeat myself, I'm going to show you how to do that. You're going to need some basil, obviously basil sauce. And this is just a bunch. You probably got here about 50, 55 leaves. Yeah, I'm going to use all of that. I'm going to show you how to extract some phenomenal flavor out of this. It's going to be absolutely delicious. Now we're going to use some butter. Holy mackerel, settle down over there. You guys get a little crazy. So I just want to share something with you. It's only till around the 1800s that tomato sauce, pomodoro sauce, was actually introduced in Italy. I know that sounds crazy. Okay, that's number one. And number two, northern Italy uses butter. Southern Italy will often use olive oil. So when you go through Italy, there is no one true authentic version of the sauce. So there's 20 regions in Italy. All regions are almost their own little country, their own little recipe, their own little version, partly because of the way it was back then, right? Before roads and highways, what you had available to you because of the season is what you made your sauce from. So up north, they would use a lot of butter. So my family, the Boreal family, is from northern Italy. So you'll find that we use a lot of butter and a lot of cream in our sauces. If you go further south, they're going to use more olive oil and they're going to use water. You don't see a lot of egg pasta down south because it was essentially more poor back in the day, so they didn't have that availability. So in this case, we got 4 tablespoons of butter. That's my justification for butter. You got to add butter. I'm just saying. We're going to add some salt. Today I've got some French sea salt. It has no aroma whatsoever, but it's good. It's healthy. It's briny. It's softer on the tongue. It's sexy. Anything French is sexy. You know what I mean? I'm a healthy heterosexual, but when I hear a French man talk, I got to be honest with you. Like, there's something inside me that wants to give a hug. I'm just saying. All right. Now we've got hot pepper flake. Totally optional. You don't have to add it. But I like just a little, just enough to the backdrop, gives you a little bit of a kick, but nothing, nothing where it's fra diavolo, like you're like, oh my God, my face is sweating. Nothing like that at all. It won't even give you that. So I've got a 1/4 teaspoon, a heavy pinch or 2 heavy pinches, if you will, depending on what you like, or no pinch if you don't like it, of a hot pepper flake. That's great. We're going to use 3 cloves of garlic. I like the bulb just because it looks kind of cool here on the table. But yeah, we're going to use that. And then we've got some pasta concentrated tomato paste. So that's really going to give us that depth. So you're going to use about 2 to 3 tablespoons, depending on how you like it. But we're going to use about 3 tablespoons of a tomato paste in there. Obviously, you're going to want some extra virgin Italian olive oil. Guys, that's our ingredients. What are we doing from here? What do you say? Let's start making some sauce. You know what I'm saying? Gravy or sauce? I don't even want to open that can. I don't even want to open that can. First thing we want to get going on, guys, is our soffritto. So real simple. In a soffritto, a lot of times you're going to have celery and carrots and onions and such. So in this case, we're not going to do that. What we're going to do is we're going to extract as much flavor from the basil as we can. And we want to extract as much from the red pepper flake, the garlic, obviously. So what we want to do is we want to get that pan going. Oh, I'll tell you, the aroma of the basil is so good, isn't it? So I'm going to go 3-ish, depending on what I'm lucky enough to get out of there. And real simple, guys, give it a good tap, and then just give it a good peel. Next, guys, we're going to take our garlic, and then we want to slice it nice and thin. So give it a nice thin slice is what I like to do. There's a great scene in Goodfellas where Paulie's taking the razor blade and slicing the garlic, and that's kind of what we're trying to do, actually. You could take a press. I'm not saying that's a bad idea. I like to where it just dissolves in there, but I like to have a little bit of a piece of garlic in there. Take my pot, my sauce pot, and I'm going to fill it with some olive oil. I'm going to say about 3 tablespoons to 4 tablespoons of olive oil. Oh, that just smells good, doesn't it? And as that's starting to warm up, I'm going to go ahead and throw my garlic in there. I'm going to throw my red pepper flake in there. And quick tip, I'm going to take about 8 to 10 of my basil leaves, chop them up. We're going to put them in there to extract the flavor. So easiest thing to do here, just roll that up. I always do a cut this way. And then keep that knuckle in front so you don't lose a finger. And then just turn it this way. Oh, the aroma. Can you get it right there? And then I'm going to throw about 10 leaves chopped basil. Basil's so fresh, it's jumping out of the pot. You see it? I'm going to give this a really soft stir. I get this going first just to warm it up. Oh, I'm telling you, the aroma, that is unbelievable. Now that that's warming up, I'm going to go ahead and throw my butter in and just let that melt down. Now, while that's going, I'll show you how to do the fresh tomato. Simply pull your stem out. And then to make them easy to peel, and as a blessing, a thank you to our creator here, you're going to do a cross just through the skin right there. And what that's going to do is that's going to get some of that moisture out so it doesn't pop. And then that gives you a beautiful place right there to peel see that? You can already do it. It's going to give you the opportunity to peel the tomato. I would normally do that with all these tomatoes. I'm going to take my tomato, I'm going to put it in the hot water. I've already put some salt in there, so I've got a little salt in there. About a teaspoon in this case because it's not a ton of water. And then I'm going to just let that boil. So what I'm doing is I'm blanching it. So I bring it up to a boil. You can wait till the water's boiling. I found it doesn't make a difference. And in this case, what's going to happen, it's going to boil. Once it boils, I leave it in there just for a couple of minutes, and then it makes it easy to peel. Now that's beautiful. See that aroma? It's getting just a tinge hot. So I turn the heat down. What I'll give you a little tip, if you find temperature control right here. If you find that it's not where you want to be, because I'm looking for the garlic to be translucent, I don't want to fry anything here. Just pull it off the heat. Pull it off the heat for a minute or two, let it cool for a minute, and then you would bring it back on the heat if you need to. But again, we're going to cook it down until the garlic gets really tender. When I push on it, it'll push right through, almost mushy. Guys, next we're going to open these cans, put some tomatoes in there. I'll tell you what makes this come out absolutely delicious. Molto delicioso is when you subscribe to the channel. So make sure you hit that subscribe button, give us a thumbs up, and hit that notification bell. That way it shares our recipes with other people looking for great sauces to make in their house. Also, you know what? It makes you part of the Cooking and Telling with Joe family. So whatever we got going on the blog, new recipes, we got a lot of new construction going on in the Boreal Farm out in Puglia, Italy. It'll certainly come right to your notification box. And like I tell you guys every week, it means the world to me when you subscribe and makes you part of the community, makes you part of the family. All right, what do you say? Let's open up some cans. Oh, yeah. That almost smells like tomato paste. Oh, it's so good. It's so good. All right, so we're going to add this to our sauce, break them up. We're going to start having some fun. Now, all this is warmed up, and if you look at the garlic, it's almost on the verge of browning, which I don't want to brown it. You don't want to brown your garlic or burn it because it'll actually make it bitter. So now we're ready to go. I'm going to go ahead and take my sauce, hold the can down low, and you're good to go. There it is. And do that slow because you don't want it to splash up on you. So my little trick in here is to take a whisk, and I just like to break the tomatoes apart like this. Now, so my father doesn't get mad at me, I want to take each can. Now, a lot of times you can put water in there and swish it, but the problem with that is it dilutes your sauce, and I don't want to dilute that. So I'll take a spatula and get it as clean as I can. I don't want Nono coming back yelling at me. She would say to me, Jojo, look, there's a lot of sauce in there. You don't want to waste that. They went through the Depression. Hey, there's starving people in this world. I get it, I get it. This is going to start heating up. I'm going to turn the heat up on that a little bit. Now I'm going to take some of my sea salt here, and I'm going to add myself a good teaspoon. Now we got to add our tomato paste. You figure about 3 tablespoons. Now give that a good stir. Now we got to wait a little bit of time, so we've got to wait a little bit on the clock. So we're going to go about 30 minutes is really all we need. We want to bring it up to a boil. A real light boil, like a light simmer, just bubbling, slow, easy. And we do that for about 30 minutes. And I didn't forget about the rest of the basil. We put that basil in when it's up to temp, and then we save a little bit back and we put it in when we serve it. All right, so for those of you with the best taste tomatoes, this guy's done, right? So we're gonna shut that off, and then we wanna pull him out, and then we're gonna let him cool. You can throw him in ice water, and that's another way to do it. We'll just throw him in some cool water. See how she started to open up on us? That's when you know she's ready, right? So, and you're going to see the peel comes off really simple. Just, it's absolutely perfect. So we're going to pull this out of the cool water in a minute, and then I can do it right in the water. It should come off just like that. So there's our tomato peeled. And now remember, I only want the flesh of the tomato. I don't want everything inside. Now what I'm going to do is take the tomato, I'm going to cut it in half, and then cut it in quarters. Here is I'm going to deflesh it. So what you do is you take your thumb, and you pull out that flesh. Some of this is a little hard, so I'm gonna pull that out. You don't always pull that out. There's your tomato, that's what you're looking for. So in this case, what you do is you throw this in your pan and start heating it up, and then you'd mush it, right? You can chop this up. You can also put it through a food mill. You can use a immersion blender, however you gotta do it to bring it down. Now when our sauce is cooking down, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my basil and I wanna remove all the leaves. So we'll tear this up a little bit and then we'll throw that in. Part of it when the sauce really comes up to temp, and then part of it is when the sauce is done. And then I'm gonna go ahead and line everything up here, and then I'm gonna tear it. And now I'm gonna take this and pop it in our sauce. So she's just starting to bubble. Isn't that gorgeous? So then I'm gonna take this, pop it in. Let me tell you, this house right now is filled with the smell of the ancestors of Nona's. There's no doubt. So you're going to give this a nice little stir. This is just beautiful. The flavor, the aroma is absolutely perfect. I'm going to give it another 10-15 minutes. We're ready to go. Guys, our pasta is almost set. I'm going to take one of our Mackenzie Child bowls, which is just beautiful, and I'm going to throw in some olive oil in the base, maybe a tablespoon at max. And then I'm going to take my pasta, which is done. And we want al dente, so you want to almost pull it out to where you think it needs to go another minute. You got the oil in there, give it a good stir, and that's going to help prevent
it's sticking. A lot of times people put oil in the water. That's not always great because it seals the pasta. And you don't want that. You want the pasta to be very porous. Now the sauce is done. I'm going to pull the cover off. Oh, that's fantastic. Look at the aroma, guys. Can you get that? That's beautiful. Now I'm going to take my leftover whole basil leaves. I didn't tear those. You can. I like a nice big one. And I saved just a couple to plate it. And now I'm going to give that a nice stir. And that's it, baby. That's good. Shut the heat off. And we're ready to have some spaghetti. Now you'll notice I added a little Parmigiano Reggiano. You know what I'm saying? Can you handle that right there? That is beautiful. So this is a little bit of a thinner sauce, which is normal. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to grab some pasta. That is just beautiful. Take just a ladle of my sauce. Put that over the top. Take some Parmigiano Reggiano. I like a little extra cheese. So I'm going to hit a little bit more cheese. You see it just curling, melting there? Oh, ho, ho. Ready? Look at that. Is that good or what?
Okay, guys, favorite time, taste time. I mean, it's more tomato. My mouth's watering right now. And a little bit of the basil, but mostly you get that tomato, which is what you want. That intensity of those San Marzano tomatoes, which is great. A little bit of the cheese. The pasta's cooked perfect. Tomato, basil, a little bit of the garlic. Oh, so good. You get that basil all the way through. It's gentle. It's fresh. You get the cheese, butter. That is awesome. Man, that is good, guys. Isn't it crazy? Like pasta and a tomato basil. Like it's one of the best meals you could ever have. Guys, thanks so much for joining me in my kitchen today. What a phenomenal recipe. This is our part 1 in a 10-part series of the most popular sauces, Italian sauces in the United States. I'm real excited to bring it to you. Don't forget, hit the subscribe button, give me a thumbs up, hit that notification bell. My last tip, once a week, once a month, get around the table with your family, your friends, listen to the history of your grandparents and your parents. Shut off the cell phone, shut off the TV, shut off the computer, if not just for an hour, right? And really spend some time with each other. I'll tell you, it's a lost art. I want it to come back. That's one of the reasons I do these videos. And you know what you're going to do when you do something like that? You're going to celebrate your heritage. You may not be Italian, right? You may be somewhere from Europe. You may be from South America. But they're entrenched with such beautiful traditions. And you get to celebrate that heritage. But even more important than that, guys, you're going to set traditions of love. They're going to last you a lifetime. I know they did for me. Hey, guys, from my kitchen to yours. Until next week, mwah! Buon appetito!